I know I've talked about it before, but hey, as it turns out, reusing not just assets, but mechanics and whatnot that you've done in previous games isn't so bad. Actually, a lot more than you'd think, as we get Azal Fatalist and then tweak both settings with 3 custom mysteries and all things. But let me just remember that, and I'll get into what I want to talk about. So, without further ado, as we move on to our next character, Fatalist, right? Random item stats, pushing yourself. I see pushing yourself in inner strength. But as we get into Azal Fatalist, random item stats, custom character with 3 custom mysteries. Yes, I did watch a certain, let's just say a certain thing about a video game that's getting another remaster. Well, not remaster. It's called something else, but you get what I mean. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Strength, light, dexterity, second encounter, charisma, maybe Takshisan. Yeah, I choked on my own mouth. And then we start with the katana, 6 strength, 7 dexterity, 6 perception, 6 knowledge, 8 charisma. This is a very powerful character. In lore, they're very powerful. I'll say that as well. But also, just for World of War, if for nothing else, I'm not going to pretend like I know the exact lore, but I know enough to know. Which I think I've told. If I haven't, then just know. Someone around me has recently... I didn't expect them to start playing a certain game, but they have. But as we get into it... so Fatalist... So what we do with Fatalist is... Well, we have 3 custom mysteries, so we take whatever custom mystery that this is on the rightmost. But then we replace the base mysteries in between here with the custom mystery as well. So I'm just going to go left to right. I could just go left to right as well. So rip my funds, but it doesn't really matter because we have a katana. So this run should be relative-wise or comparison-wise, it is going to be easier. That's all I have to say. But yeah, as it turns out, reusing things you've done before is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but that's not the exact phrase. The exact phrase is, it's fun, and nothing has gone wrong, so you might as well just keep doing it. Now, there is a certain threshold in which you don't want to do that, but in this game-specific instance, so yes, by nature of me mentioning this, then you know when I'm recording this video. I know it sounds like just a tangent a little bit. I'd really try to obscure, I guess, when I am doing things here and there, both in real life and in video game, but I think, I take the protections. I'm trying to be as protective as possible, even though I don't do things sometimes that are protective. But, running virtual machines, hosting or tweaking my own servers for where I'm living at, not just for privacy, but for security's sake, really security's sake. So yeah, if that's the reason, if it's some things that I say sound weird, or some things that I do look weird, it's because I'm trying to be as safe as possible, which again, a large part of that is due as I enter this boss fight, that we're just going to fight this boss, just to explain why the katana is so powerful game-wise. Yeah, it's because of RNG in real life. So, as we fight this phone, we take 4 all damage and we're out. It's very, very hard to not 3-turn in encounter, if at most, with the katana, because no matter what happens with the damage fluctuation, you do 13 damage. So, hey, we keep the fun for 2 Doom for the Misery Parasite, because it's better than taking out of funds. Out of funds, you lose 3 stamina, 3 reason, or take 5 doom, as opposed to just taking 2 doom for keeping 1 funds with you. You can toss it away. There's some very minor optimizations you can do, but if you want to just turn your brain off, even though Azal has a fund rule on you, just keep 1 fund. If you have more than that, though, then you wanna like try and toss it. You can toss it through the Misery Parasite UI, or I think that's really where you want to go. But anywho. So, off we go. We're in shuttle, okay. Doesn't matter, we have a katana. It's hard to explain, it's not that hard, but it shouldn't take much to explain why the katana is a very powerful item. Again, I'm not saying that the character's done good or bad, I'm just saying if you give a character a katana, they are going to absolutely destroy the run, relative to other characters. Now, you could just be really unlucky in events like I am, and still take a lot of damage, but still, it's a far cry from what could be with just, say, a wooden bat. Even though that is a weapon to start with, it can be very bad, especially on a random item stat run. But as we keep moving on here, yeah, the topic of game dev, because I mean, as a wannabe game dev, because I haven't really put out anything that's successful, at least to my satisfaction, paying attention to what other games do, or games that are going to be coming out do, or games in a franchise series in this case, yeah, again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But that's the simple version. I mean, it's not even nuanced. It's that's an incorrect That is an incorrect, not review, but you get what I mean. An incorrect description or review of the game, that style of game. But it comes from, I think it comes from a very logical place and a very it can be a very successful place in that, need to remember to take 2 custom mysteries here. But yeah, it comes from a very logical place. We'll even fight the boss of this mystery just to show it off. But again, if the game mechanics that you use are reused from a previous game, especially if they're fun, no reason not to include it, because the worst thing that happens is for some reason people say your game is bloated, although that's not exactly that's not exactly negative criticism. So if you include something that people like in the new game, you can, unless it's too intrusive, which is usually where I observe the boiling point of that is, no one's going to care, because you're including something that people like, and you're including something that newer players, or people who have not gotten to play with that mechanic or character or story or whatever it may be, they get to experience it for the first time, and they can have fun with everyone else. Again, there are possible negatives, but in the case of this game coming out, the third version of, or a version of a third in the series coming out, yeah, it can only be, because it's very obvious. Like it's the, what's the exact phrase I want to use? I think we have a knowledge check, so I'm just going to do double knowledge here. But, how should I say? What am I trying to say? We all know, but we don't say it, but we don't need to say it, because it's fulfilling all of our not niches, but it's all fulfilling all of our needs. I guess that's the closer thing to say. So, oh wait, actually, we might be in a bit of trouble. I would like to hit both of these. It would be nice. If we don't actually hit one of these attacks, it can become very, very bad. Okay, good. And now we just do Desperate Prep Strong. Like, I can't stress enough. Oh, wait, it's not guaranteed. It is guaranteed. Who am I kidding? 26 damage. Whee! 27 damage. Even better. But, 25% Doom on our third mystery, by the way. Like, yeah. We could have actually died there, but could have also just avoided the encounter, especially even if we run into Rumaghost, we probably could have just slashed Rumaghost. But, as we move on here... oh yeah, that's right. 2 boosts to randomly select. You know what? Bam! Oh, this feels so good. I think that's a spell. Actually, we can keep using that if I so choose, but I don't want spells anymore because I don't want to take the Doom. I like having extra Doom over than the stats, as it turns out. But, anywho, moving on. Yeah, so for those who don't know, if you're like, how come I never saw that spell before, Jordan? It's because it's a spell that's not normally in the game, basically. That's all I'm trying to say. Oh, don't hurt me. We do need to rest, by the way, so good thing I saved a bit of Doom, but... yeah. Again, if it's not a pain... Like, if your game is good, and you make another game, there's usually not a big downside unless you do it... Unless you're, like... One of the examples is if you're using something as a crutch to try and make a new game better. So, if, say in game number 1 that you made a fun battle system, if you make game number 2, don't add pretty much anything, but just add the same battle system, it's like, well, it's nice, but you didn't really do anything better. It'll still be successful, but and it's not even a matter... Oh my goodness, we need to rest again, by the way. It's not even a matter of, oh, people are gonna get tired of it. I mean, sometimes people just want the same thing over and over and over, but it depends on the situation. But in most of the time, it's not really a bad thing. It's only when you actually regress, then you, yeah, it's probably not great. Also, that's right, this Silhouettes is filled with Reason Pain, so I think it's because we have an ally or a curse. Is that where our Doom came from? I don't even know, because I'm just turning my brain off. That, like, again, it's what it is. So bloated and something else, I think. I don't really care, unless it's the item or experience rule. I don't care. Like, it's the Katana land. Actually, I could take Dexterity. I'm going to take Dexterity here. We're going to actually heal Reason. We have a lot of stats, and off I go. Sorry, I had to focus just for a little bit. But, as we enter the Hobo, and we get the 10 experience, that's a phrase to say, don't hurt me, robots! It makes sense in context of the game. But, yeah, that's something to think about. Again, I've done a few things myself, but... in terms of just making... Well, actually, that's not true. I will say, if you ever find games that I've made, and you find subsequent games that I've made, whether it's me right here or elsewhere, you're going to notice that I do very similar things, which is kind of indicative of most, at least game devs. You're likely to repeat something over and over. You can find, I guess, the motif... Not the motif, but... the atmosphere of a game will be very, very similar to games that someone has made in the past. And obviously, I'm not even saying like a huge, vast majority of game developers will do that. I'm just saying that most of the time, like, you know, at least 60 to 80% of the time, probably higher, I would wager. If I had to guess an exact amount, like 88% of developers, game developers, they'll do the same things in every one of the games that they make, whether it's an art style, whether it's a story beats, whether it's types of characters that they like. I had to stumble for a moment, but you get what I'm trying to say. Something will be very similar. In my case, with RPG Maker games specifically, it's very easy to see certain things. And that's right, the experience rule, but I still don't care. Like, it... Without the experience rule, we would have had 55% Doom, but I don't even need to take a bath. I'm just gonna watch what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna even level up just to make sure we survive. But we should be able to survive. Actually, with taking that, we will survive. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 keys, and then whee, and off we go. But that's all I wanted to say. And it's, again, it relates to contemporary times because, again, a very certain game. And I'm sure, you know, if I had the resources around me, I would allow the people around me to have fun with this as well. Although, that being said, we are... When I say we, I mean the people around me, whether it's me or someone else, or both of us, doesn't really matter. We do have our subscriptions, although I'm trying to unsubscribe for everything because I'm trying to... we're living very frugally at the moment. But yeah, without further ado, thank you for watching. If you have anything to say, you know what to do. Otherwise, I won't take up much more of your time. Bye!